1971, the Bangladesh War. 1971, the Asian Highway Motor Rally from Tehran to Dhaka. 66, I started rallying. And 69, we stood first. 1970, we stood first. And 71, they announced the Highway Motor Rally from Tehran to Dhaka. 6,500 kilometers. And we had to go. Rallying was in our blood. So we somehow managed, I think 15,000 rupees is what we managed. When others ferried the car to Khorramshahr, and then we had to drive all the way. And there are many interesting stories that go with it. 4 of us went in an ambassador. An ambassador had this reputation of axles getting broken. So someone told that there's a guy in Howrah who makes axles. So we went, and he's a guy, an iron smith. He palms something. He says, yes, I'll make axle for you, it will not break. The car might break, but axle will not break. So he made 2 axles, which we fitted. Only thing was, the car used to make a lot of noise. Okay? But the axle did not break. So we went, we just had to drive to Tehran all the way. Delhi, we were briefed that you must not stay in Pakistan, cross Pakistan's border early in the morning and leave before sunset and get into Afghanistan. You are not to stay in Pakistan. This was very strict instructions to us. So we crossed early morning, and then, of course, in Lahore, can you refuse a Lahore biryani? You can't. So we stopped, and the police came. We had India written on top of the car and things like that. And about 200 people gathered around the car. What is this? India mein gadi banta hai? Zurur banta hai. India ki gadi hai. So I asked the police, where do we get the best of biryani? He said, there's a shop here, and he directed us. Went to the shop. The shop owner was greatly interested in us. He not only fed us, he packed about 4 or 5 biryanis, gave it to us, never charged a single paise. And then we left. What had happened was, we had lost 2.5-3 hours we had lost. And suddenly, those were not the days of GPS and Google Maps, nothing of the sort. And all their milestones were written in Urdu. Those were not kilometers, milestones. Unlike in India, where you had at least the 10th or the 5th in English. Everything is in Urdu. We lost way. And went into a place, suddenly the road was very wide. And then we saw fighter aircrafts on 2 sides. We said, we are coming to a runway. Pakistan Air Force runway. Switch off the lights. Let's drive as fast as possible. Got into a taxiway. Somehow got out of that place. And then we were specifically told that, look, you will not only cross Pakistan, but you will never ever stop, even for a minute, at Khyber Pass. That's a dangerous place. So around 10:30 in the night, we reached a barrier. The barrier was closed. We couldn't go. It was locked. There's nothing that you can do. So sleep inside the car. We were sleeping inside the car. Early morning around 4 o'clock, whole car started shaking. There was this 6.5 feet tall cavalier. That guy. So we said, we are from Kolkata. Calcutta? I had been to Calcutta. Very nice cinema hall, talkie show house, which is the worst hall anyway. talkie show house. Cinema dekha. He took a liking on us. Chalo, chai pina hai. So their chai is in a lot of masala, a lot of milk, little bit of tea. So we had that. Then he said, "बंदूक लेना है? बंदूक? Pistol? Pistol चाहिए? Huh? Pistol नहीं चाहिए." He took us, straight. You name a gun, it was there. You just pay a price and you buy it. That was the kind of thing. Revolvers, automatic revolvers, all there. So, we had spent the whole night at the place where we were forward into, even stopped Khyber Pass. The morning we left Khyber Pass and then we entered Afghanistan, Kandahar and all that. Incidentally, in 1979, I was posted in Kabul. I refused the posting, but luckily for me, they didn't force me. Television. I was to train their people in 1979. Anyway, that didn't happen. And I'm talking about 1970. About 10 kilometers before 10 kilometers before Tehran, suddenly 4 Harley Davidson came. All driven by women police. 4 Harley Davidson, 4 police followers. They escorted us to the platform A. Women police in Iran riding Harley Davidson. And we used to stay in a hotel called Hotel Amir Kabir. The day before the rally, I must tell you this. We went to Austin and then to Morris to service the vehicle. They said, they looked at the vehicle that this is a vintage model. We can't refer it to vintage model. So the newspapers published, us lying underneath the car, servicing it ourselves and doing things up. Anyway, so we had, the day before we were to park the car at the park farm and then come back to the hotel. Next morning you would go and start the rally. The flag off was by the Shah's son, Prince. So we got a taxi and I said, I told him, Amir Kabir. He took us. I said, where is he taking us? Amir Kabir. Then he took us to a pub. Amir Kabir for him is American beer. Amir Kabir. So anyway, we had beer and then we took another taxi and came to our hotel. Next morning we started. The first leg was Tehran to Kabul. And in the Tehran-Kabul leg, we had the official Toyota team. And they had an official service team following the actual car. Okay. This is the first time in my life I saw a service team. Service team. So we were flagged off in the morning. This was a dead of night. We would reach Kabul the following day, almost 48 hours. And we suddenly saw the Toyota team completely. It was overturned. And in 40-45 minutes, the car again overtook us. The service team had done the miracle. And then we decided we have to have a service team. In life, destiny is something, it's pre-written. And you see, there's an interconnectedness. Whatever happens today, there's a reason for it to happen. That you and I are talking today, there's a reason for it to happen. Okay? It was destined. Similarly, some things are destined. About 10 kilometers before Kabul, the body of the ambassador came out of the Shashi. So the body was not a part of the car. Okay. And when everyone slept the whole night, we went to a tractor repair shop and welded the body. And next morning we started again. And Kabul, the next stop was Islamabad. Okay. So can you imagine in a rally like this, without a service team, without any sleep, we were almost doing it not 1 day, not 2 days, not 3 days, continuously. Islamabad, when we came to Islamabad, we were received very, very well, I would say. Very warm welcome. Band, this, that. We were taken to a hotel, and something had gone wrong in the hotel. I don't know whether it was intentional or not, because there was no cold water in the hotel. Only burning hot water. So if you want to take a bath, you have to take water out of the refrigerator, pour it into the bathtub to cool the water to take a bath. From Islamabad, the next stop was Delhi. Okay. Delhi next stop Kathmandu, and Kathmandu, Dhaka. In the Delhi-Kathmandu sector, something happened. I am alive today. There's no reason for my being alive today. About 2 o'clock, it happened right from the time we entered India. We were running second in our group, and just because we had India written on our car, people would come with garlands, with foods, hug us, stop the car, not realizing that if you stop a car in a rally, you are actually creating problems for us. But who cares? So this was in a place called Ara, near Patna. And there was this S. The road was like an S, and right at the middle there was this bridge. And we were doing something like about 100, 110, a little more than at night, 2 o'clock in the morning. 3 guys ran in front of the car, waving, shouting, dancing. And 2 were right in front of the car. So what do? You either slam on the brake or run them over. When you slam on the brake, you turn left. The next time, remember, we went straight into the left-hand pillar of the bridge at 120 kilometers per hour. Car flew about 7-8 somersaults and landed into the river. The car was a pulp, total. How we were saved, only God knows. All of us were injured, but all of us got saved. But what happened is, see, this is a learning process. When you meet with such an accident, immediately you have to take some action. If you don't, then you become a victim. I, being a rally driver, I lost nerve. I couldn't drive. And I couldn't drive possibly because I had malignant malaria. Picked it up from there. And after I got well, I could drive in the city at 20 kilometers per hour. Beyond that, I couldn't drive. And highways, I wouldn't drive. Till a cousin of mine, we were going to Dhaka. He said, to Ichala, you drive. And I was driving 20-25 kilometers per hour. He stepped on my accelerator. He said, try, you will bloody well try. And that year, 1972 was following the highway motor rally, and we again participated and got the start part classification first prize. But here we had a service team. Okay. Now let me tell you something about our rallying career. We never spent a single farthing from our pocket right from day one to the day we finished. We were the first car in Kolkata, perhaps in India. 1963, I immediately after higher secondary, 6 friends, all from 6 different states of India, we decided to go abroad. Abroad means go to Kathmandu. We'll drive down to Kathmandu, but where is the money? There's no money. So we went to various companies and they laughed. Ultimately, we had we had Brook Bonds, we had Exide, and we had Wills sponsoring our trip. 1963, a car with Brook Bond and all that. We drove all the way to Kathmandu and came back without spending a single paise, in fact making a profit of 25 paise each. So that's something you have to learn. Just because you can afford, you don't do. If you want to do something, make sure you have the means to do it. Don't borrow and don't steal. That doesn't pay in the long run. So after 72, 73, 74, 75, there were two rallies in which we didn't fare well. One, we completely missed a checkpoint, and another, our car broke. Okay? So, like any other sports, they say those firsts and those all that must have been flukes. So 1976, we participated in a rally without a sponsor, without anything, a car and simple like shirt and all. We went in, started very slow, no show, started slow, and we created a record that is still there. Finishing seconds basis rally with a 0 penalty. So FMSI sent us a telegram saying that it's an all-time record, and that record is still there. No one has broken it till today. And then that was the end of my rallying career. Then I switched table. Then I became clerk of the course, steward of the meet, that kind. Instead of rallying, I started organizing rallies.